Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद् डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद् डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से को श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड की गोवर्धन की मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। जमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। जय गौर हरि प्रेमानंद। All goods assembled devotees, all goods assembled devotees, all goods assembled devotees, all goods Shiva and Gaurang, Jai Guru Shri Prabhupada ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Canto 3, Chapter 18, text number 16. So 16 and 17 don't have purport. 18 just has a one-word purport. So we'll read all three verses in one-line purport. We'll read all three verses, and we can repeat and chant responsively verse number 18. Punargadam swam adaya
Punargadam swam adaya
brahmayantam abhikshnashah
Brahmayantam Abhishanasa
abhyadhavat kruddha
Abhidavat Harikuddha
samrambhat dashtadachadam.
Samrambhata Tadashadam
Puna,
Puna
again,
Again
gadam,
Gadam
gadam, gadam,
Gada Gada
mace, swam
Swam
is adaya,
Alaya
having taken,
Taken
brahmayantam,
Ramayanta
brandishing,
Brandishing
abhikshnashaha,
Abhishanasa
repeatedly,
Repeatedly
abhyadhavat,
Abhidavat
rush to meet,
Rush to meet
Hari,
Hari
the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
the Supreme Personality of God
kruddha,
Buddha
angry,
Angry
samrambhat,
Sambha
enraged,
Enraged
dashta,
Dasta
bitten,
Bitten
dachadam,
Dachidam
his lip. Translation: the personality of Godhead now exhibited his anger and rushed to meet the demon, who bit his lip in rage, took up his mace again, and began to repeatedly brandish it about. Tatascha gadayaratim dakshinashyam dhruvi prabhu
Dakshinasya Pravi Prabhu
ajagahne ajahne satutam saumya
Ajagni Satu Tam Samya
kadaya kovidohanat.
Gadya Kovido
Tata, then,
Then
cha,
Cha
and gadaya,
Gadaya
with his mace,
Vidna
haratim,
Ara
the enemy,
and
dakshinashyam,
Dakshinasya
on the right, Bhruvi,
Pravi
on the brow, Prabhu,
Prabhu
the Lord, Ajahne, strung, struck, Saha, the Lord, Tu, but, Tam, the mace, Saumya, O gentle Vidura, Gadaya, with his mace, Kovida, expert, Ahanat, he saved himself. Translation: then with his mace the Lord struck the enemy on the right of his brow. But since the demon was expert in fighting, O gentle Vidura, he protected himself by a maneuver of his own mace. एवं गदाभ्याम गुर्विभ्याम हर्यक्षो हरिरेव च जिगीषया सुसंराब्धा अन्योन्यम अभिजह्नतु जघ्नतु. Everyone can repeat.
Evam gadabhyam gurvibhyam
Evam gadabhyam gurvibhyam
haryakshu harirevacha
haryaksho harirevacha
jigisaya susamrabdha
susamrabdha
anyonyam abhijaghnatu Antu Anyonyam
Vijagnatu.
Evam Gadabhyam
Evam Gadabhyam Gurvibhyam
Hiran Haryaksho Harivacha Jigishaya Susham Rajyo Anyonyam Avijag
Anyonyam Abhijagnatu. Evam Gadabhyam Gurvibhyam Haryaksho Harirevacha Jigishaya Susamrabdha Anyonyam Abhijagnatu. Evam, in this way, Gadabhyam, with their misses, Gurvibhyam, huge, Haryaksha, the demon Haryaksha, Hiranyaksha, Hari, Lord Hari, Eva, certainly, Cha, and Jigishaya, with a desire for victory, Susamrabdho, enraged, Anyonyam, each other, Abhijagnatu, they struck. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Abhay Sharana Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In this way, the demon Haryaksha and the Lord, the personality of Godhead, struck each other with their huge maces, each enraged and seeking his own victory. Purport: Haryaksha is another name for Hiranyaksha, the demon. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagan Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagan Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanuste Devi Pranamami Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Ande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So I'm completely unqualified to speak anything on Bhagavatam. Shri Shri Radha Bhakti Janavadutavadaran Gari Jadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It was really funny. Gada was coming number of times. So that was quite a revelation to me. So that's my situation. I am a very disgusting person, but I to do this service so that some way I can please, Krishna, can please the devotees. And sometimes I think about this, that sometimes when you do something wrong or something not so nice to someone, then you try to make that up by doing something good, right? So my situation is that I'm always doing something not so nice, or not able to worship the deities or serve the deities in the best way. So my situation is I always have to do something more and more to make up, and probably my life will go in this way. So I need the prayers of all the devotees. Actually, this is reading from an astounding purport of Srila Prabhupada. Actually, pure devotion is explained in the previous chapter. The mind of the Supreme Lord and the mind of the devotee should be dovetailed. A devotee should not wish anything but to execute the desire of the Supreme, that is oneness. When the devotee has an interest or will different from the separate of the Supreme Lord, his mentality is that of a separatist. So here Prabhupada is speaking about separatism, and here in the last few verses we are studying about, or we are hearing about how Hiranyaksha and the Supreme Lord Varahadev are fighting, So this Leela, this pastime of the Lord fighting with Hiranyaksha is very important in Bhagavatam, because it shows how in this material world, ultimately the only person who can solve all problems, who can forget about solving, who can face all problems, is the Supreme Lord. Just like Prabhupada says this verse again and again, Yantra Rurani Maya, Yantra Rurani Maya. So Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hridesha Arjuna Tishtati Brahmayan Sarvabhutani Yantra Rudani Maya. This verse is very important. Why is it important? Because Prabhupada is speaking in the 5th canto about how the Lord is controlling all the planets, and in that connection he's speaking about Shishumar. How actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead, due to its affection for Dhruva Maharaj, he made Dhruva Maharaj's planet as the central planet and made all the other planets to rotate around that planet. And in the connection, in the purport, Prabhupada is saying how the Lord, by manipulating the air, he is making so many planets float in the sky, and he is actually controlling the planets. He's doing everything. The Lord is everywhere and everything, and is controlling everything. So in the same way, we normally associate that the Lord is controlling material nature, the Lord is controlling, but we forget Lord is controlling us also. So that's also true. Like, this is also a machine. This human body is a machine, and the Lord is actually controlling according to our desires, according to, we have little minute independence, but ultimately the Lord is controlling. So if the Lord is controlling, ultimately when we say devatas are behind the senses, we say so many reasons, karma, but ultimately behind everything is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's why Krishna says man mana bhava. Krishna is saying that you remember me and I will control your mind. I will control. So this is very, very instructive. Many times in our spiritual life, we think we can solve our own problems. We think we can come out of Maya. But that's not the solution. That's not the process. The process is take shelter of the Lord, and the Lord will bring us out of Maya. So, of course, this fight between the Lord and Hiranyaksha is very, very instructive in other ways also, that sometimes the Lord has one arrangement and we have one desire. And in the conditioned state, it's very difficult for us to understand whether it's our mind speaking or it's the Lord speaking, the spiritual master speaking. So that's why we have to consult with senior devotees. So coming back to what I read, so instead of fighting against the Lord, because anytime we go against the Lord, my experience is, even we think something separate from the Lord, immediately the mind will become disturbed. Immediately. I mean, some way the mind will become disturbed. The Krishna consciousness will be spoiled. So that's how the Lord responds in the heart that this is not good. Don't even think like this. So we have to even pray, learn to think. We have to try to think. I'm speaking all this for my own betterment. I'm not, realized or advanced or anything, but I just am speaking it for my own advancement. So, to make advancement. So we have to learn to, or we have to pray to. We should not say learn. Pray that we can only think something which is beneficial or pleasing to Krishna. Then our life will become very smooth. So Prabhupada is saying, when we have a separate interest, we become a separatist. Very simple. So how can we come close to Krishna? How can we think in such a way that is pleasing to Krishna? Because if you think in a way that is pleasing to Krishna, naturally you will feel in a way which is pleasing to Krishna, and you will act in a way which is pleasing to Krishna also. So there are 6 limbs of Sharanagathi, ultimately coming to surrender, Sharanagathi. And each limb is very, very interesting. So first is to accept things favorable. So the most favorable thing is the association of advanced devotees. That's the most favorable thing. And sometimes our mind rejects the association of advanced devotees, because advanced devotees, they don't speak what is so, may not be so pleasing to us. Like, just do a study. How many times, how much Prabhupada spoke Leela Katha? How much did Prabhupada speak Leela Katha? Barely. Huh? Everyone wants to hear Leela Katha. Nobody wants to hear philosophy. And many people have spoken Leela Katha also. So many Leelas. But Prabhupada, every lecture you hear, you rascal, you rascal. Prabhupada is saying. But Prabhupada, by speaking just Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, how many devotees Prabhupada made just by that? So pure devotees are very powerful. And what do pure devotees do? They inspire a great enthusiasm in the heart to serve Krishna. So how close we are to pure devotees means how much we have associated, we have imbibed, how much we have realized the value of their instructions. That's the only thing which matters. When we realize the practical value of the instructions of a pure devotee, to the extent that we have realized, to that extent we are actually close to that person. Rejecting things unfavorable. So these things will become finer and finer as time goes on. Finer and finer and finer. So we have to be very, very scrutinizingly careful about things which are unfavorable. Some things may not be unfavorable immediately, but in course of time it will become unfavorable. But Krishna is so merciful that in the beginning he will give a hint that this is not good for you. No. And how do you know something is not good for you? Very simple. If something is making you forget Krishna, it's not good for you. If anything is making you forget Krishna for how much ever time, it's not good. As simple as that. Always believe firmly in the Lord's protection. So this is also a very deep point. What does believing means? Means unflinching faith in Guru and Krishna. It's very difficult. Unflinching faith is only possible when we are on the spiritual platform. When we are little bit, at least on the spirit sattva, going to transcendental mode, from Sattva to Shuddha Sattva, when we are in that trying to go, the flinching faith, unflinching faith in Guru and Krishna. And what will be the result of unflinching faith? You immediately become ecstatic. Immediately you become ecstatic. Okay. Feel exclusively dependent on the mercy of the Lord. Yeah. This exclusive dependency is only possible when we lose all other shelter, at least internally. And this exclusive dependency on the mercy of the Lord, it is actually only present in the heart of an advanced soul. Advanced soul. Have no separate interest separate from the interest of the Lord. Okay, we already discussed this. Always feel oneself meek and humble. So Prabhupada is not saying think, feel. It's a very important word. There's a difference between thinking and feeling. What is thinking? Thinking means trying to impose on your mind, oh, I am very fallen, I am very fallen. But what is feeling? Feeling means it's coming, just like Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami is saying, that I am lower than the worm in the stool. So he's feeling, naturally he's feeling. He's not artificially thinking, trying to force his mind. No, that's his natural position. He's thinking like that. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, that now I have become old. In this old age, I am just telling my woe, my tale of woe to the Supreme Lord in that wonderful song, Amar Jivan Sada Papirata. So if we want to become humble, that song is very good. And you just have to read that song, Amar Jivan, and just try to apply oneself to it. And we'll get a lot of wonderful realization. So there are three different ways of practicing devotional service. There is spoken by Lord Kapila in Bhagavatam. It's very, very instructive. There are three ways to practice devotional service. And one is in the mode of goodness, one is in the mode of passion, and one is in the mode of ignorance. So I'll just read quickly about the three different ways we can perform devotional service. And ultimately, the best way is to perform pure goodness. So devotional service is 3rd canto, 29th chapter, verse number 8. I'm reading translation of 8, 9, 10. So verse number 8, devotional service executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent, and angry, and who is a separatist, is considered to be in the mode of darkness. So that is mode of ignorance. The worship of deities in the temple by separatists with a motive for material enjoyment, fame, and opulence is devotion in the mode of passion. When a devotee worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead and offers the results of his activities in order to free himself from the inebriaties of fruitive activities, his devotion is in the mode of goodness. So in the mode of ignorance, basically one who's a separatist, one who's ignorant, he doesn't care. He worships the Supreme Lord in his own whims, in his own way. He doesn't care what is the Shastra, what Guru says, he just worships. Then second, in the mode of passion, is he is worshipping the Lord, but actually he's worshipping himself. It looks like he's worshipping the Lord, but actually he's doing arti to himself. How is that? Because he's worshipping for his own motives, worshipping so that he can become great. Like, don't you see how I do arti? Don't you see how I dress? It's the best in the world. Nobody can dress like me. So then that is worshipping oneself. Hangropasana. And when a devotee worships the Lord to get free from material desires, then that is in the mode of goodness. So the problem with that is many times when we have this kind of prayer, let me become free from this. Then what happens once, if by some mercy we become free for some time from that problem for some time, immediately we fly in the sky. Like, check me out, I'm free now, I'm so pure. And, and we forget the Lord because we got what we wanted, so forget the Lord. But the best kind of devotional service is I'm going to read the text 11:12. It's very wonderful. The manifestation of unadulterated devotional service is exhibited when one's mind is at once attracted to hearing the transcendental name and qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is residing in everyone's heart. Just as the water of the Ganges flows naturally down towards the ocean, such devotional ecstasy, uninterrupted by any material condition, flows towards the Supreme Lord. So this is an astounding purport, I mean astounding translation. So yeah, pure good. So um, I will read little of the purport and we'll take it from there. The basic principle of this unadulterated pure devotional service is love of Godhead. Madguna Shruti Matrena means just after hearing about the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, these qualities are called Nirgun. The Supreme Lord is uncontaminated by the modes of material nature. Therefore, he is attracted to the pure devotee. There is no need to practice meditation to attain such attraction. The pure devotee is already in the transcendental stage, and the affinity between him and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is natural and is compared to the Ganges water flowing towards the sea. So, when a pure devotee sings the glories of the Lord, his feelings for the Lord manifest without any doubt. It's not that, well, if you don't cry, if you don't, like experience, show some, amazing things. No. Pure devotees of the Lord, their feelings for the Lord are always there. And especially it becomes very, very powerfully manifest to others in the form of sound vibration. So that's why we have to hear the prayers, the Vaishnav bhajans uh, of the previous acharyas sung by pure devotees. It's really, really important. Like it's really important that we hear bhajans, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because when we hear, then the feelings of the pure devotee, they become manifest. And of course, speaking for myself, when I hear, sometimes I may be in the mode of passion or mode of ignorance, so therefore I I cannot feel it. But upon repeated hearing, as the heart becomes, as we become purified, we can realize actually how powerful those prayers are. So when we are able to have some glimpse of the attraction of pure devotees for Krishna, then that is the easiest way for us to attain attraction to Krishna. That is the easiest way for us to attain attraction to Krishna. So the purport actually is Guru Bhakti. When we take Guru's mission, life and mood as our own, again, there is no imitation here. This is all following the footsteps. We take Guru's mission, life and mood as our own. Then we can awaken the attraction that he has for Radha and Krishna. So the most important thing is that at every step, we are trying our best to connect with the spiritual master on the transcendental platform. We have to try. Of course, it's not so easy, but we have to try, because even if we try, you will get some reciprocation. Somewhere you get reciprocation. Like we spoke in previous classes, Guru is not limited to a body. Guru is a tattva. So Guru is a tattva, Guru is not a body. So sometimes you pray to Guru, you won't get reciprocation from Guru, you get reciprocation from other Vaishnava. You get reciprocation from the deity, you get reciprocation from many other sources. So this is really, really important. Really, really important. What is the most important thing? What is the most important factor for us to cross beyond Anartha Nivritti? How does Anartha Nivritti become, how do we overcome anarthas? By unmotivated, uninterrupted devotional service. That's how we overcome anarthas. And how will we get the strength to continue devotional service when anarthas are ringing, when anarthas are disturbing? How? By taking shelter of the pure devotee. Because we may be doing horrible, but then when we see, wow, Guru Maharaj is so ecstatic, then we become inspired to continue our devotional service. So, uh, ultimately, what is our spiritual life? How strong will be our practice? Is just um, a repercussion or a consequence, a positive way. Repercussion, consequence, wrong word, but result of the depth of our faith in Guru. That's all. Ultimately, it boils down to that. Why are you doing devotional service? Why you're doing? We may think, oh, I love the deities, I love, but actually, when we see the bottom of our heart, our the substance, whatever substance we have, is all because of spiritual master. Hmm. All because of Srila Prabhupada. So we have to take shelter. We have to, and it's up to us. It's not based on physical experience interaction. It's internal. Like at every step, we have opportunity. Like before chanting the holy name, we pray to the spiritual master. Uh, Before everywhere, I mean, it's completely up to us. And the more and more we include him in our life internally, the more will you benefit it. Because when we include him internally, what will you remind it? Will you remind it of his instructions at every step? So that is our greatest hope. There's no better hope for us. And like I said, it's it's not limited to a body. It's not at all limited to a body. Like many times I have experienced that we pray to spiritual master, and what spiritual master has spoken so many times, the same thing he is spoken will come through the mouth of another Vaishnava, and you will understand completely that is Guru Maharaj speaking to me. So and one more point is that it starts with the spiritual master, this dedication, but ultimately it spreads to everyone. It spreads to everyone, it spreads to all the Vaishnavas. Like when Vasudev Dutt says that I am willing to take birth millions of lives, I'm willing to rot in hell for eternity in order to deliver all the conditioned souls. Just think about how much love he has for the conditioned souls. Probably the conditioned souls, most of the conditioned souls he's speaking about don't even know about him. And probably we see many times pure devotees, they invest so much love and affection on the conditioned soul. Conditioned soul probably doesn't reciprocate even 1 millionth of what pure devotee does. But the pure devotee still continues to love. How it is possible? Because pure devotees love has spread everywhere, spread to everyone. Prabhupada could see, although we don't accept we don't accept in the literal way, but Prabhupada could see everyone as guru. How it is possible? Because initially in our spiritual life, the concept of guru is only limited to one person. But as we advance, it expands and expands and expands. It's like you see the Avanti Brahmana, even the snake, even the mountain, he accepted as his guru. So Guru's mercy is very, very powerful. What is the purport? What is the purport? In that, in Dhruva Maharaj's his performance of devotional service, how he actually attained perfection, it's mentioned in Bhagavatam. So he got some very, very special mercy of Krishna, of Guru, Narad Muni. The first mercy he got was when his mother told him that you go to the forest and you will get Vishnu. He accepted that so deeply within his heart. For whatever reason he may have accepted, but he accepted so deeply that even when Narad Muni told him that you are a boy, um, don't need to engage in such severe tapasya. Go home. If you want to come in your father's lap, then I will help you. Why you have to perform tapasya? Dhruva said no. If you can show me Vishnu, then we'll continue this conversation. Otherwise, I'm sorry, I have to go. So that was how deeply accepted that. And In fourth canto, 9th chapter, 6th verse, it's mentioned of about Dhruva Maharaj's prayers. Actually, this is it's really inspiring. Yesterday, His Holiness Haladhar Maharaj was quoting. I was so desperate to find the verse. I found the verse. Amazing verse, amazing. So in this verse, he is speaking. Bhagavatam is speaking about what happens to the senses of one who is blessed by the spiritual master. So this is Dhruva Maharaj's prayer. Dhruva Maharaj said, "My dear Lord, you are all powerful." So Dhruva Maharaj has just seen the Lord. He's saying, "My dear Lord, you are all powerful. After entering within me, you have enlivened all my sleeping senses. My hands, legs, ears, touch, sensation, life force, and especially my power of speech." So the Lord has enlivened all of these. "Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you." Prabhupada is saying in the purport, this spiritual enlivenment of Dhruva Maharaja's senses and mind was due to the action of the internal potency of the Lord. In this verse, the word Swadhamna means by spiritual energy. Spiritual enlightenment is possible by the mercy of the spiritual energy of the Lord. So, ultimately, spiritual master means the master of spirituality. Who is the ultimate master of all spirituality? Srimati Radharani. So a spiritual master is carrying that Hladini Shakti, that pleasure potency within his heart, and he infuses it into the heart of his disciple based on the extent to which he is pleased with him. And it's so special that here Dhruva Maharaj is saying actually that he has become a different person now. He's not the same person anymore. He's completely changed now. Completely changed. It's like Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that now I have forgotten. One of the songs is, "I've forgotten the past, and now in all four directions I only see bliss. I don't see anything else." Bhaktivinoda Thakur is speaking. So the more Guru's mercy acts in our life, the more we become, our subtle body changes, and we become different person, different person, different person. So I'm not saying that I have gotten any mercy of spiritual master, but I'm just saying that this is very encouraging to us, that if it happens to Dhruva Maharaj, that why can't it happen to us? Is every possibility that can happen to us. Just the extent to which we surrender internally, and we become serious, we will get this mercy. And just like the senses right now, I mean, the senses are not always helping us to think of Krishna, but the more and more we get the mercy of Guru, the more the senses will help us. Just like example, Haridas Thakur, he was chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and he would chant whole night, and by the time the morning would come, he would say, "Oh, it is already morning, I didn't even start chanting." Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would see Jagannath for hours, and then when Govinda will say, "My Lord, it is time for taking your noon prasad," then Mahaprabhu would say, I didn't even see, it's already noon, I didn't see. So this is a mercy of the spiritual master, that we become, our senses become addicted to Krishna, become addicted to Krishna. So many examples are there in Bhagavatam of how the senses can actually help one to progress more and more in Krishna consciousness. But of course, in the conditional stage, we have to be very careful, and we have to practice the principles. Like Krishna says that the senses and the sense objects have a very powerful connection. So we have to withdraw the senses from the sense objects and project it more and more on Krishna. That we have to do. But in the liberated, or as we're moving towards the liberated condition, the more and more our senses will go towards Krishna, and that's why we have to expose our senses more and more to Krishna in the presence of the sound vibration of pure devotees. This is very important, because see, we are exposing our senses to deities, for example, but actually without the sound vibration of pure devotees, we will not be able to realize actually the spiritual or the transcendental nature of Krishna. This is so important. That's why here it says mat guna shruti matrena. Saying by hearing about my qualities. In the beginning of the purport, I mean the translation of devotional service and pure goodness, what is the beginning? Hearing about the transcendental qualities of Krishna. So this is really important. Hearing. So sound is everything. Shabda is everything. So even in the material world also, the first manifestation, the manifestation of this world first started from sound, sky. So in the same way, everything is with sound. So we have to continuously expose ourselves to the sound vibration of pure devotees. Then our senses will become purified more and more and more. So uh, in that way, by exposing ourselves to the sound vibration of pure devotees, we can realize the spiritual nature of Krishna, of devotees, and we can more and more and more dovetail, or more and more we can make sure that instead of fighting with the Lord's arrangement, we are going with the Lord's arrangement. Because the Lord's arrangement is such that the Lord wants us to come back to Him very quickly. That's the Lord's desire. He wants us to come back to Him very quickly. Krishna cannot wait. Uh, So every situation Krishna is making in our life is actually for our benefit only. But the unfortunate thing is that because we don't see it, therefore many times we try to walk away from that arrangement, try to make our own arrangement, and as a result of that, we experience spiritual difficulty. So, the more and more we're connected to the pure devotee of the Lord, by accepting Him, by accepting His instructions, the more and more our senses become spiritualized, our mind becomes spiritualized, and then our spiritual life becomes very fulfilling, because that's the only goal of us in this Krishna conscious movement, is to render pure devotional service. That's all. And everything else is a background ultimately. That is the sum and substance of our involvement in this ISKCON movement. Srila Prabhupada said that the only purpose of our centers is that we give people a chance to hear. So we have to hear from pure devotees. We have to hear from Srila Prabhupada in his books more and more and more. And the more we are associated with sound vibration, divine sound vibration, and we perform our devotional service, then the more we actually see that spiritual life is attractive, material life is disgusting, and how we have to move towards more and more spiritual involvement. So I would like to end here. Anyone have any question or
symptoms of unflinching faith. Can you repeat it?
Yeah, symptoms of unflinching faith. I said that one second, let me.
Second one is always feel meek and humble.
No. Yeah. So always firmly believe in the Lord's protection. Unflinching faith in Guru and Krishna. Yeah. So to have this always believe firmly in the Lord's protection, we have to have unflinching faith in Guru and Krishna. So I mentioned that how actually to believe that the Lord will protect us, then it starts with having unflinching faith in Guru. Unflinching faith means not calculative faith, but unflinching faith. It means not mentally evaluating. Unflinching faith starts with not trying to measure or materially try to understand the instructions of Guru, but just understand one thing, that it has to be realized. So we can ask how to realize. That is a good question. But not like, well, I don't believe it is true, how it is true. Like yesterday I was reading in Bhagavatam how Prabhupada is saying that, the planet Mars is many millions of miles above the Earth. Uh, sorry, the moon. Moon. So then Prabhupada is saying it is foolish. People are saying that they went to the moon. So if we start questioning how this is not true, how it can be true, then definitely we'll experience, it's not the right question, because we cannot experience, we cannot, with our mind, we cannot understand. So unflinching faith means just accept and realize, try to realize it. Uh, we cannot realize, it has to reveal to us, but that's just one example. That, yeah. Yes, please.
One question. Awareness class. Very touchy class. You said 3 ways to practice devotional service in the passion, goodness, and ignorance.
Hmm.
Why would Krishna allow devotional service in ignorance and passion?
Yeah, I mean, Krishna does not allow, but I mean, like living entity has independence, right? So Krishna is so merciful. Like you see in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, if you cannot do this, you do this, like in that succession. And finally, Krishna says, the best is think of me. Then if you cannot do Arjun, do this. If you cannot do this, Arjun, you can do this. So just in that same way, Krishna is giving us opportunities where Krishna is saying, you can utilize your independence and serve me. If and you can reduce your independence and serve me. You can, if you want, you can completely get rid of independence and serve me. It's up to you. Krishna is giving options. So that's the thing. But yeah, once you become devotees, we don't want to exercise those options. So yeah, that's the reason why. Any other question or comment online?
Oh, what is the bhajan you said that Bhakti Thakur, Amar Jivan?
Yeah, Amar Jiman. Just search Amar Jiman Bhaktivinoda Thakur, you will find it.
Okay.
Yeah, question. Yeah. Can you please elaborate more on in association of sound vibrations of pure devotees? Yeah. So, I mean, nowadays, fortunately, we have recordings of pure devotees, and if we actually take the words, the instructions given by pure devotees into our heart more and more, then we can actually realize the power of that vibration. It's very, very powerful. It's very powerful. Like one time I had an experience that I was dressing the deities on Nityan Trayadashi, and sometimes dressing is a lot of things to do, and it's completely kind of just doing. And then at that time I just casually, like Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he was giving class on Bhagavatam, and I just heard Jai Radha Madhava. I just heard 1-2 lines, not much, and immediately my conscience was completely transformed in this, just like in a second, complete transformation. So it's a really, really powerful. It's a really, really powerful. The vibrations of pure devotees. The more we associate, the more we hear, the more we will realize. As Kanai Krishna Prabhu also mentioning one time that the more we hear from pure devotees, we can understand their mood. Sometimes they are in little strong mood, they sometimes ecstatic mood. You can see these small things, subtle things, the more we associate with sound vibration of pure devotees. That's why it's a really, really important. Never leave sound vibration while taking prasad, while in the bathrooms. Try to never leave that sound vibration, because that is our only shelter.
It's so true that I listen to Prabhupada in the morning, tuning, and many times they repeat the same class. Most of the time. In same class, I must have heard many times, but one time I get realization what Prabhupada means. But other times just I'm listening. One time I realized that the mood of Prabhupada. So it's very, I think hearing is the key.
Yeah. Okay, please forgive me. वांछकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव